Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Touliatos, brought to you by his books, Bodybuilding, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and his new book, Training, Nutrition, Supplementation in Bodybuilding, both available on Amazon.com. Please welcome from Athens, Greece, Dr. George Touliatos. How are you, Doctor?
Hi, Ron. Thanks for this special Sunday edition video.
Yeah,
we adjust, we're adjustable,
I'm going a day early so I could take a day off and go to the beach. But hey, happy birthday. It was your birthday last week.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are 29 again. That's what I always say. It's my little joke. But 47, right?
Yeah, 47.
You're still a young man. The youngest in my family is 3 years younger than me, so he'll be turning 48, my younger brother, next week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, and gym's open here tomorrow in my state, Massachusetts.
Oh, thank God. Are you attending the first day?
The first day I will miss, which is unfortunate because I've been waiting 100 something days.
So you're going to be on a list for that?
No wait list, because luckily we have a lot of this gym, Bayshore Athletic Club, it's got very high ceilings, so they go by the square footage. So you're allowed to have 40% capacity, and going by the square footage of this particular gym, they can have up to, I think they can have over 200 people in there, 180 people at once. And I've never even seen 180 people in there at one time when it's at its most crowded. And no masks if you stay away from everybody.
Nobody wears a mask but the instructors and the receptionists.
Well, I've been going to gyms in the state that's south of me, Rhode Island, and you have to wear a mask in those gyms, all of them.
Come on.
I did it. Yeah, it's horrible. I trained legs with a mask on last week, but I was cheating. I kept pulling down the mask so I could breathe during my set. Because, I'm like, can you imagine that?
Crazy.
Doing like heavy squats or leg presses or something like that. Anyway, let me wipe the lotion on my eyeballs and we can get going. We've got some great questions this week. Yeah. I think we ended up with 12 or something. So let's get moving. Number one, and this is edition 70. This is 70 of these shows that you've done. Wow.
We never missed one, huh?
No, we've never missed one. You're good. So question one, 55-year-old retired national bodybuilding competitor, stopped everything 20 years ago as far as drugs, back to training for health, had my doctor run all my hormone levels. Total T was 397. Doc thought that was good. I laughed. He said, "You're still big as a house. In your opinion, would an HRT clinic prescribe to me test? And if so, what would their goal be to get my test level up to?" I've never heard this question asked. Example, if 250 milligrams a week takes it to 1,000 total, would they cut it back to stabilize it at, say, 800? Does it work like insulin where it's pretty cut and dry?
So 400 in total testosterone is not that low in order to be considered as hypogonadic. Actually, it's 250 or 300.
Yeah.
Or perhaps in some cases 350, but certainly not 400. The point is we verify symptoms, clinical symptoms and evaluation along with lab work. So we just not treat symptoms, but also we measure how you feel, etc., blah, blah, blah. I mean, depression, erectile dysfunction, poor sex drive, foggy mind, whatever. Yeah. And besides, total testosterone does not tell the truth because it's the free testosterone that reveals the real deal, and it's also SHBG, the main regulator. But apart from this, I think if you go to, if you pay, of course, an age management clinic, then they will prescribe you much easier. The point is you have to double your level. So let's say go to up to 800. Now, what he says that 250, which is 1 ml of enanthate, 250 will give you 1,000. This is wrong. Actually, 250 will give you 2,000. So about 150, so half a ml, 125 or 150 will give you 1,000 plus. And of course, you need less in order to be optimized. But if you want to speak about some muscle strength, etc., then you need to add 1 ml per week. But this is super physiological. Yeah. And this is out of the philosophy of the replacement therapy. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, but doctor, doesn't it kind of vary by the individual? So if 250 milligrams brought one man to 2,000, maybe it's going to bring another man to 1,500, another man to 2,500.
It's up to the body mass index and also the metabolism. But roughly, in order to hit the 1,000, you need less than 200 or perhaps 200, okay?
Yeah.
But 250 is more, is 1 ml of enanthate or is 1.2 ml of cypionate.
Yeah. Now, Dr. O'Connor, he's very much against these HRT clinics because most of them, they don't work closely with patients the way I shouldn't say real doctor, but
open-minded, and actually they give also, they prescribe auxiliary medications that not strictly needed for the sake of looks and vanity. So there was a time when Connor was very mad with an HRT clinic that prescribed T3 or T4 just for the loss of some body fat, but eventually the patient end up in the ER with a heart arrhythmia. It happens.
Yeah. And I mean, one thing he always says is they give everybody AIs, whether you need them or not. They just prescribe
no longer, they're not longer necessary for this dose, and also if you modify the dose with frequent daily doses, also you avoid the spike of estradiol. So no longer the 200 milligrams will give you. Now, perhaps some 250 will in the long term give you some estradiol, but also, as he also told you, you have to see if you have sore nipples, edema, some symptoms of the elevated estrogens.
Yeah. Yeah, remember my estrogen is super high and I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Yeah. Well, I realized I cry at movies and songs a lot more easily than I probably should.
More sentimental because of the estrogens, yes.
So that's my side effect.
How feel right after the PCT, eh? We like a gaze. I mean, we're super sensitive,
Yeah, you get very sensitive, but that's me. But I can deal with it. It's no problem. I'll just try to keep my crying to the movies and the songs to myself. Okay, next one is, hey doc, I was on TRT and I couldn't afford it anymore. I thought maybe I could at least buy it underground. What are your thoughts about using the underground test, and what are the risks of doing it this way? Do you recommend it?
Well, usually testosterone is not faked as a substance, but it may be contain less dose, which is underdose, some heavy metals perhaps, which is not a cool, and perhaps the quality of the oil is not that good. We have castor oil, sesame oil, different versions, okay? Most of the guys in Greece also use, even though we have enanthate in the pharmacy that costs $7, they prefer to buy a vial of enanthate, for instance, this 10 ml vial that costs perhaps $60. I mean, which is a little bit cheaper. Personally, I'm against this, but if the guy cannot afford the insurance and all these things, he has to self-medicate, of course, and try to find a reliable source. There are some underground labs that have some barcode that you can verify it online.
Wow.
Okay, so you scratch it, you get the barcode, and you verify it. And if it's not verified, then you give it back.
I mean, I've used tests that just comes not even a label. It's just there were bottles, and you knew that if the top was blue, it was test. If the top was red, it was Deca. If the metal on the top was yellow, it was Tren. But you had to know the colors. But yeah, there was no barcode, no box, not even a label. You just had to know by the color of the top of the bottle what it was. We do what we got to do. This guy says, I got a question, doc. Why is your SHBG low?
Because I'm using Proviron. And if I stop using Proviron, it will elevate, like it elevated during the quarantine when I stopped using anything. But the protocol I'm using, the daily injections in order to avoid aromatase inhibitor, in order to avoid frequent phlebotomies, ensures that the SHBG elevates. So in order to avoid this perhaps loss of libido, because the higher the SHBG, the lesser libido you have, I crash it with the Proviron that also makes me look leaner, have more cognitive function, some self-esteem. And besides, it's non-toxic, it's available in the pharmacy, prescription-free. So why the heck not use it?
Yeah, you've actually convinced me to get some, and I'm going to try and see. Never ever use.
I'll give you 10 pieces.
Can you believe all these years, over 20 years on gear, I've never used Proviron once. I mean,
it's an excellent libido enhancer.
Until I started talking to you and Dr. O'Connor about it, I never paid any attention to it. I'm like, Proviron, whatever that is.
Greek Americans come over for vacations. They buy the 20 pills of Proviron, $4 roughly, and they sell it for 40.
That's a good turn. Not a bad turnover. Okay. Here we go. This is an odd question. He says, on cycle, I saw a lot of bodybuilder friends of mine who made their wife pregnant, but unfortunately they lost the baby, or this one has Down syndrome. Have you seen that too?
Listen, this is not exclude. I mean, this is not how you say it doesn't happen to everybody. Of course, I know many bodybuilders. Now there are veterans who managed to have a kid. Okay, there was no Down syndrome, of course. But the point is, once upon a time, I had a seminar with a gynecologist that actually we trained together, and he's very open-minded. He used to work out, etc. And we spoke about fertility and about hypogonadism. So there was a question from the audience about this, and he said, in order to be a fertilization, the spermatozoa, the sperm cell, have to be healthy. Now, the point is, those 9 months, what the woman does that carries the fetus,
Yeah.
So it's up to her, I think, in a great, because if it's a sperm cell that's not strong and it's weak and it's is malformed or whatever, there's DNA malformations, there's no possibility of fertilization, because only a healthy and strong sperm cell would penetrate the egg,
Yeah.
in order to do this magic thing of fertilization.
And just to put it out there, if you're looking at
Lee Haney has how many? 5, 7, 6 kids?
Oh no, Lee Haney's only got 2. Ronnie Coleman has I believe he has 8. I believe he has 8 children, and one of them that was a sperm donor child passed away. I think all in all he would have 10 kids. But Down syndrome, especially, that happens when women are older. They're at a very high risk for birth defects.
Yes, exactly. Over 35, the possibilities of Down syndrome are greater, because there is the malformation during the separation of the chromosomes. Exactly. This is a very good point you have.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe
it's up to the women's age. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe in this case, whoever this gentleman knows, maybe the bodybuilders he knows,
and
their
actually,
wives, they were older. They were 35.
The younger the couple, the healthier the infants.
Yeah.
We have to admit that. Okay.
I need an answer on this, Ron. I don't know why he's asking me. Please, is there a big difference between 2 IUs of GH a day compared to increasing it to 4 or 6 a day? You've talked about this before, doctor.
Yeah, 6 will, I think they're closer to some muscle growth, perhaps some more insulin resistance, some some carpal tunnel syndrome, The 2 are for recuperation and, looking fresh as rejuvenation and the aging. But going to 6, pharma grade, will be closer because the HF1 elevates.
Yeah. So let's do the math here to talk about how expensive that would be. So a genotropin pen comes in 36 IUs.
In Greece, it costs $200.
$200? Okay. So in the US, the cheapest I've ever found one is $400, but people get as much as $600 for that, for one pen. 36 IUs divided by 6 is 6 days. So let's say you're getting a good price, $400. That's only going to last you 6 days. So if a month is 30 days, I'm horrible at math. What do we got here?
You need 4 pens a month.
Yeah. So wow. So $1,200, $1,600 a month. Whew, wow. If you want to see growth, anti-aging, 2 to 3 IUs is fine, right?
Mm.
Yeah, but you're not going to get any larger muscles out of that.
Anti-catabolic effect you have, anti-catabolic effect. And also some fat burning effect.
Yeah. Damn it. I need a bunch of free GH. Anybody out there want to just throw it my way? Go ahead. All right, next one. Now, here's a sensitive question based on your top athletes in Greece, doctor. George, apart from GH, what do you think former Greek sprinter Konstantinos Kanteris was using? What do you think sprinters today in general are using?
Well, I don't think I'm allowed to speak of that because I'll get in legal trouble.
Yeah.
But from what I heard of, because, I was fortunate in my life and I had the privilege to meet the chemist of Balco.
Yeah.
And also to meet the 2 top trainers in Greece, Olympic weightlifting, and also actually the trainer of this Olympic champion.
Yeah.
But I know things from in firsthand, and I verified them. So during the time of 2000 Olympics in Sydney, of course, the athletes that were not get busted, obviously they were using something that was not already on the list.
Yeah.
And according to my sources, of course, I have no proof of that. Okay.
Right.
It's not of my business. So what the rumors say. So quite many athletes, in first place, they were using norbolethone, which is a steroid made by the chemist. Now, soon after, they switched to the clear, THG. But when the Balbastan scandal, appeared, yes, in 2003, those athletes, they had to stop and quit from the clear. That's why in the Olympic champions that were held in Paris, some of them disclaimed to be injured. So 2000 was norbolethone. 2001 and 2002 it was tetrahydrogesterone.
The clear.
But both of them were not identified already. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. What's the cream? What is that, norbolethone or what?
The cream. Listen, no. The cream was something magic. You know, I mean, it was very smart by Patrick. Now, in the doping control, in the doping test, when you take testosterone, now the organism releases a metabolite called epitestosterone, and the ratio of testosterone to epitestosterone has to be below 6. Now, if you administer a large dose, obviously this ratio elevates, it goes out of 6, you know? So Patrick was so smart that he made a cream, a product, with testosterone and epitestosterone together to this ratio. And no matter how much you're using, the ratio was constant.
This Patrick Arnold we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a smart dude.
Yeah, Rick Collins was his lawyer, yes. Yeah, I mean, he's my mentor, and even though he's a rough guy, I mean, he's really a crazy chemist. He's perhaps the most knowledgeable guy worldwide in the world of PEDs. I learned a lot of him. We no longer talk because he blocked me.
Oh, okay.
But I had the privilege to meet him 4 years ago at the Arnold. You know, I gave him my book. I gave him a calendar from Greece. He gave me a shirt from Keto Sports, you know. Yeah. So, but, you know, every genius is a special person, you know, and has some, you know, a very peculiar way of interacting, you know. Those are feelings.
Yeah, it's no hard feelings. But the second part of the question, if you had to guess what Olympic sprinters, what drugs they use, what do you think?
Yes, listen, back in the 80s, it was those DHT derivatives that do not give you water retention, because we don't need water retention. We need to keep the body weight low. And also, Winstrol and Anavar produce ATP that are very good for explosiveness. So Ben Johnson was busted with stanozolol. Yeah. Anavar also was good, and they cleared the system because there were pills about in 20 days. Okay, no injectables because the half-life is way longer. You know, even though water-based, water-based injectables like Winstrol or testosterone. You know.
So let me ask you this: though, Winstrol has a reputation for drying out the joints. Wouldn't that be a really bad thing for a sprinter?
Of course it is, but on the other hand, you know, Ben Johnson was able to do a single rep of 450 pounds squat, and his body weight was 185.
Wow,
crazy.
I remember hearing something? I think I actually talked to his trainer, Charlie Francis, years ago.
He's Canadian.
Yeah, didn't they have him? Did he have him do the squats like 30 minutes before the sprint?
Yes, that's true. Somebody told me that, and also bench press. Yes, and bench press.
That's crazy.
200 kilograms. Yes.
But it sounds crazy to us, but it must be a very, very good reason to have him do that.
He was another body type. He was purely mesomorph, unlike Carl Lewis, who was ectomorph. Right. He was a long jumper. Difference, like Zane and Franco Columbu, for instance, you know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Ben Johnson he was ripped. He was dense.
Ah, yeah.
He was jacked. Okay. Okay. Now we want your opinion on a 12-week cycle. Is this okay for a 12-week cycle? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, test and anthate 250 milligrams. So 750 test a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 200 milligrams tren and anthate. So we got 750 test and anthate, 600 tren and anthate, Anavar 50 twice every day. I think he means like 25 milligrams AM and PM, I think. Superdrol 50 milligrams every day, and Arimidex, he did not specify the dosage. But so this is, what do you think of that cycle, doctor?
I hope he competes, not to use it for the beach, you know.
Beach Boys. Yeah, I doubt he can. Most of these people that write it, they don't compete. They just want to be big and jacked for the gym. Or
if you want to take this chance, why not step on stage and have something for a legacy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the worst you can do is you probably get a trophy, you know, do the novice class or something. I mean, I never understood why you would want to look like you could compete and not compete.
You know, just for the Instagram, come on.
That's like going to medical school, becoming a doctor, but not practicing medicine just so you can pass out cards to say Ron Harris, MD. You know, why didn't you practice? But anyway, is that a?
I think because they're afraid of failure. They want from the first competition to have to win. You know, this is crazy ego.
I think a lot of guys I talk to, they say, well, I'm not getting up there in my underwear. That's their major thing, is they don't want to get up there in the trunks.
Bullshit.
You know, what's the problem with that? But as far as a cycle, would you change anything about this guy's cycle?
Oh, it's an important cycle. I mean, the Superdrol, I'm not sure about the origin of the Superdrol, you know. The rest sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on all that, I wouldn't bother with the Superdrol. Why do you need that? If you're doing all this test, tren, and Anavar, you're good. You're set. Anyway, we talked about bodybuilders from the golden era before. Should we just skip over that question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guy. We did answer that. Okay, here we go. Either Ron or the doctor. Any ideas about working out in a gym without air conditioning? Here in Greece, we have like 38 or 39 Celsius. My gym has a sunroof and the sun comes in. It's hard to even breathe, but I can only work out most days at high noon. What should he do?
Yeah, this is crazy and totally unhealthy. You know, you can have muscle cramps and spasms out of dehydration. You can also feel hypovolemia. You could faint nearly, you know. It's crazy. You definitely need the electrolytes with you, constantly hydrated, you know.
I mean, you've been to a lot of gyms in Greece, right?
Yeah, I'm staying now at the best club in the country, you know. But of course, it's not hardcore, but it's really cool about the hygiene and the air conditioning. But yes, I've been to whorehouses, you know, to train.
Are there a lot of gyms there with no air conditioning?
I would say half of them.
Wow. Because what's 39 Celsius in mercury? Do you have any idea?
It's 105, 103.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Oh, crazy! Come on.
You know, I like Metroflex in Arlington, Texas, where Ronnie Coleman and Branch Warren trained all those years.
It has huge ventilators, very huge ventilators.
They have fans. They have giant fans. They have no air conditioning. Yeah. At least they have fans going, huge, like 5-foot tall fans.
Yeah.
Because it gets up to, I think Branch said the hottest it's ever been inside that gym was 120 degrees.
Shit, man, no, really?
Dude, I'm all set with that. Yeah, because other bodybuilders from out of state would go there to try to work out in the summer, and some of them, they passed out. They got heat stroke. And they had to pack them in ice. That happened to Melvin Anthony. True story. Okay, next one. My 2 cents on that guy is find a gym with air conditioning. That's ridiculous. There's got to be one around here somewhere. Go to Planet Fitness or something. Okay, PCT question. We get these all the time. What's the best PCT protocol to replenish free testosterone, increase LH and FSH?
So it's wait for a couple of days to clear the system, the substances, and then start with low, moderate doses of HCG 1000, 1500 for 2 weeks, and afterwards use low dose of SERMs 25 and 10 clomiphene and Novodex, along with some zinc at night, some D-aspartic acid before the gym, You can also use creatine in order to elevate the intensity, and lactate that elevates testosterone. Eat plenty of yolks and red meat in order to elevate your testosterone synthesis out of cholesterol. Sleep from 11 to 7. Have sex whenever you want to.
Easier said than done, doctor.
Smoke weed, don't drink booze, that's
Yeah.
it.
Okay. And he, at the end of his question, he tacked on, wouldn't niacin make people insulin resistant?
I'm not sure about this. I know that niacin can hit the liver, and also can give you horrible flashing. You become like a lobster, and the itching feeling is terrible.
Yeah, I hate that crap. We used to use that before did you guys used to use that before bodybuilding, before you went on stage, niacin?
Yes, also, yes.
Yeah, it's a bad
I
idea.
There was plasma jet by Gaspari,
Well, there's
with
that, but
red wine extract.
yeah, in the old days, though, it was straight up niacin. Guys just pop niacin pills. I used to do it.
Sips of whiskey,
Yeah,
scotch.
yeah. We would drink whiskey or schnapps or whatever. Any kind of alcohol would do.
You remember the story with LeBron and Coleman? The vodka?
Everywhere. That he's told that story like 1,000 times now. Yeah.
And he got dehydrated out of the alcohol. He was dry the next day.
I mean, okay, I used to party on, back in the old days, years and years ago, ecstasy, MDMA. I'd go out clubbing till like 5, 6 in the morning, and I would feel like I would feel horrible, but I'd look in the mirror and I was ripped because I would be on the dance floor for 8 hours drinking, but still your body's just pouring sweat, and you just it was like a diuretic, total
Thermogenesis, huh?
Yeah, I would weigh myself just sometimes to see how much weight I lost. I could lose between 5 and 10 pounds in one night, easy.
Shit, really?
Yeah, it's bad news. Bad for gains. But those were fun times. No regrets. Okay, here's a question. Reality just punched me in the face. After 2 months of training break because of the coronavirus, I had an accident after 3 weeks of training, which happened during a mountain bike tour. I had several facial injuries and broke my prosecus spinosus of the 6th cervical vertebrae. The doctors say I will certainly have to wear a neck brace for 4 to 6 weeks, and then they will see how I can start to build up training again. Ingenious is it that I started my blast in the 3 weeks of training with 600 milligrams testosterone and 600 milligrams EQ. In week 4, I would have added another compound, but now it's over and done with. My question to the doc is, should I go back to TRT with 150 milligrams test-E, or better with a cruise of 250 to 300 a week to minimize muscle loss?
I think you should do 150 of test, 50 of Deca, and 2 IUs of GH.
Okay, even better. Yeah, that was the second part of the question, but you just answered what else could do it. So 150 test, 50 Deca, 2 IUs GH. There you go, sir. And heal up fast, sir. Stop all that mountain biking. Who do you think you are, Dr. O'Connor? Yeah. Yeah. He tore his pec the day after he was mountain biking. That was not really a coincidence. Yeah, because he was mountain biking, and it's very traumatic. You're holding the handlebars, not that I was else. Yeah, and then the next day he was trying to bench like 450 or something in his basement. Pec came right off. That was like about a year and a half or 2 years ago now. Here we go. I've heard the doc suggest the use of lipid/heart protective supplements while on cycle, like niacin, red rice yeast, phytosterols, krill oil, resveratrol, policosanol, bergamot, alpha-lipoic acid, and omega-3s. My question is, are all these supplements to be taken daily or every other day, or how? And can you tell me what dosages? That's a lot of supplements.
So all of them except the alpha-lipoic acid, which is about insulin issues and some liver issues. So each of one every time you eat. So it's expensive thing, but it works this way in order to have it within your system. Otherwise, if you can afford it, one of each with breakfast.
Okay, cool. And the doses are on the bottles, guys. Just follow the...
one of each, roughly, one of each.
Yeah. Next one is, what can be done for water retention on the ankles while on cycle, more so in the off season? My kidney and heart function are fine while on cycle, but I get serious water on my ankles. I've noticed that 1 milligram of Arimidex 3 times a week makes it a lot better. Could it just be the estrogen causing this?
So drop the salt. Okay, drink mineral water low in sodium. consume potassium from foods, so potato and bananas, because you excrete the sodium. Drink coffee and green tea that are diuretics, and put a pillow below your ankles when you sleep, so they kind of elevated to avoid the edema, and avoid standing up, standing, and while you have to put a step on your legs in order to be in higher position, like in the hairdressers.
Okay.
You know?
Doctor, have you heard the expression cankles?
No, what's that?
Cankles are when you have it's mostly fat people, but it could happen with water retention too. So your calf and your ankles is just one big block.
This is called elephantiasis. Elephant, they have legs like elephants, so huge, and this is a problem with lymph nodes, with lymph vessels. So when the lymph is not circulating properly, you have this disgusting edema. Elephant legs.
Well, I guess the less extreme cankles would be a much less extreme version.
Rich Gaspar used to say that when I get edema, I watch out my ankles if they're puffy.
Yeah, because you remember Chris Bumstead? He has kidney disease, Berger's disease now. He had videos.
Kidney disease, yes, but Berger disease is the result of angiopathy, vasculopathy out of smoking. We learned that in pathology.
Oh, geez. I don't think he smoked. But 2018 Olympia, he was hospitalized for that. And
I know.
He put up videos where he was he could sink his finger into his ankle like up to here.
Edema, yes.
He could almost lose his finger.
Renal failure has this.
Oh, terrible. Okay, final question for this one, doctor. What's the best way to incorporate decadurabolin cycle in the off-season without experiencing erectile dysfunction, like from Deca Dick? This will be my first Deca cycle. I'll be incorporating testosterone cypionate as well. Is there anything you would add to these two compounds to avoid?
Double dose the testosterone of Deca and Dostinex, cabergoline.
Okay. So
what about this question about the golden era? What was it about?
I'll go back if you want to. I mean, we've talked about it, but maybe there was an aspect to it. So let's go back. What do you think about bodybuilders from the golden era? There's so much contradicting data on them. Some say they were using crazy high dosages, while others deny that. They usually preach about a very low-carb diet, and all of them put on muscle on it.
Yeah, well, let's speak about the drugs. Now, I think it were pharmaceutical grade. There was the good thing about it. Few things like Deca, Primo, Test, and Dianabol. I'm sure these were the four. Growth hormone was from cadavers. No insulin, no IGF-1. Only SERMs, no aromatase inhibitors, and some diuretics. That's why they look more down to earth, more human. Sort of the Beach Boys today. And we're not this crazy muscularity or definition or muscularity. You have to be a freak like Arnold to look huge.
Yeah, and I mean, to put it in perspective, Arnold was 6'1", I think. And most people believe his best weight, the biggest he ever was
74, yes, 240.
He was 240. So 6'1", 240. We have guys now who are 5'5" competing at 240.
You win the nationals Greek in this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So the guys now are much bigger.
Yeah, Ronnie Coleman said nobody had the pecs of Arnold. You could put a glass of water. I mean, this is pure genetics. The side chest. Come on, it was like this.
Don't you find it funny that, here we are 50 years after Arnold was in his prime almost, and I still have never seen a chest better than Arnold's.
So full, and also to the side, everywhere, like huge, plates,
Yeah. There's a famous picture where he had just a plain white an undershirt, a white tank top, what we call a wife beater. He was just standing to the side, and it looks photoshopped because his chest was so full. From the top, everything just went whoosh. It was crazy. Wow. But, if you watch Pumping Iron, it was very, very hard basic training. It was all tons of flat bench, tons of incline bench, tons of dips, tons of dumbbell flies, all the old school free weights.
Have you observed there was no single photograph of Arnold with a side triceps pose? He just did this,
Yeah,
this.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. I've never seen a picture of him hitting.
Never.
Yeah. because his triceps weren't anywhere. His biceps were so much better. He hit a lot of bicep poses, but yeah, triceps, he never.
They were
once.
weaker according to his supreme. It was like an orange here.
Yeah, well, I mean, those biceps were awesome. They were some of the best we've ever seen. Yeah. Anyway, well, doctor, that is it. That's all I got for you. Okay. Happy belated birthday again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy your 40s.
How was your 4th of July? How was the holiday?
We didn't have much here. My son's friends came over and we had some fireworks in our backyard and a couple drinks, but that was about it.
Say the grace on Tuesday when you go to the gym, you know?
Oh, dude. I cannot wait.
It's going to be a sentimental moment, eh?
I might cry.
How many days? Over 100 days.
Yeah, it was March 12th or something was the last day they were open. It's been a long time. I'm just really, really hoping we don't get a second wave and they shut things down again. That's going to, imagine that.
Yeah, says that, and also the doctors in Greece speak about November.
Which is not that far away. I mean, let's look at, we got July, August, September, October. That could just be 4 months away if that happens, that we have to do it all over again. No bueno. Anyway, doctor, thank you very much. I want everyone to check out that book and your new book. So the previous book was Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The new book is Training, Nutrition, and Supplementation in Bodybuilding, both available on Amazon.com. Yes. You can also check out his website. You see it behind him, gtoul.com. Mostly in Greek, though, right? That website?
No. I have 70 articles in English.
Oh, okay. There you go. 70 articles.
Yes. And my next online Dr. T on Tuesday would be about hunger and satiety. Satiety and hunger, yes.
Right on. Yeah, that's every Tuesday on musculardevelopment.com. We call it Dr. T Tuesdays. That's when we post these videos, the new videos for Ask Dr. Testosterone. And you get a new article on the website, on our site from the doctor. And guys, also questions, if you have those, you leave them in the comments under these videos and we get to them the next week. If you like these videos, please share them on your social media. Let's get some views going, guys. This is a great show. Thanks to the doctor sharing his knowledge and expertise. Yeah, let's get these views going. Let's get some numbers, guys. Tell your friends, share, do whatever it takes. Subscribe.
We're really successful because we answer for free so many questions, you know, over 10 average in every show. So 70 weeks, we never missed one. So this consistency is crazy.
I bet it's been about 1,000 questions at this point because we're usually over 10.
If I could charge $10 each question.
Let's start doing that. Anyway, cool. Thank you so much, doctor, for doing this. Appreciate you sharing all your knowledge and information with the men around the world who they have nobody to turn to get this kind of information. They're just going to go online and get some bro science answers that may or may not be right. But, you know, this is a medical doctor, people. He's walked the walk. He's competed. He's won his national title in bodybuilding. You're not going to find too many people that have experience as a bodybuilder and as a medical doctor like this man has. So we're very lucky to have you, doctor. Appreciate it. Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching Ask Dr. Testosterone. We'll see you next time.